Don't scroll. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been wondering. I know there have been nights when you stared at the ceiling and asked yourself if it would ever end. The waiting. The confusion. The silence. The not knowing. You've been asking God, when? When will it change? When will they come back? When will this pain end? And heaven has been silent. Not because God wasn't listening. Because God was working on something you couldn't see. Something behind the scenes. Something that required patience you didn't think you had. But the silence is breaking. Right now. In this moment. As you read these words. It's finally over. Not the waiting. Not yet. Something else. The news your soulmate just got changes everything. Not a text. Not a call. Not a message they sent to you. News they received. News that landed in their life like a stone dropped into still water. News that is sending ripples through everything they thought they knew. And those ripples are about to reach you. So take a breath. Put your phone down on a flat surface if you need to. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. You're about to find out what happened. And it's going to change everything. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Let me tell you what happened. Not what you imagined. Not what you hoped. What actually happened. Your soulmate got news. Not from you. From somewhere else. Somewhere that has been holding them in a place they didn't belong. The thing that has been keeping them stuck, the situation, the relationship, the obligation, the fear, it just ended. Not because you prayed hard enough. Not because you manifested it. Not because you finally did something right. Because it was never supposed to last. It was a placeholder. A distraction. A delay. And delays don't last forever. Placeholders get removed. Distractions get exposed. Delays run their course. And the time has come. The news your soulmate just got is that the thing keeping them from you is no longer there. Not because they chose to leave it. Because it fell apart on its own. The relationship they were trying to force. It crumbled. The situation they were trying to control. It collapsed. The fear they were trying to hide behind. It dissolved. Not because they're suddenly brave. Because God removed what they couldn't remove themselves. God closed the door they were too scared to close. God ended what they were too afraid to end. God made the choice they couldn't make. And now they're free. Not perfectly. Not without fear. Not without confusion. But free. And freedom changes everything. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people scroll away because it's easier to doubt than to believe. Don't be most people. Here's what the news means. Not what you think. What you need to understand. The news didn't come from you. You didn't cause it. You didn't force it. You didn't manipulate it. It came from God. Because God is the one who has been working behind the scenes. God is the one who has been arranging circumstances. God is the one who has been closing doors and opening windows. Not you. You've been praying. You've been hoping. You've been waiting. But you haven't been controlling. And that's good. Because if you had been controlling, you would have messed it up. You would have forced something before it was ready. You would have opened a door that needed to stay closed. You would have said something that couldn't be unsaid. But you didn't. Because you couldn't. Only God could do what needed to be done. And God did it. Not because you deserved it. Because God is faithful. Not because you earned it. Because God is gracious. Not because you said the right prayer. Because God is sovereign. God did it. And now, the thing that was keeping you apart is over. Not slowly. Not gradually. Suddenly. Like a storm that has been raging for months and suddenly breaks. Like a fever that has been burning for days and suddenly breaks. Like a night that has been dark for hours and suddenly dawn breaks. It's over. The waiting is not over. But the obstacle is. The separation is not over. But the barrier is. The silence is not over. But the reason for the silence is. What was keeping you apart has been removed. Not by you. By God. And now, everything is different. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what your soulmate is feeling right now. Not what you imagine. What's actually happening inside them. They're in shock. They didn't expect this. They thought the situation would drag on forever. They thought they would be stuck in that place, in that relationship, in that fear, forever. They had resigned themselves to it. Made peace with it. Given up on anything ever changing. And then, suddenly, it changed. Not because they did something. Because God did something. And they're in shock. Not sad. Not relieved. Not anything yet. Just, shocked. The thing they thought would never end has ended. And they don't know what to do with themselves. They've been living in that situation for so long that they forgot who they were without it. Their identity got tangled up in it. Their routines revolved around it. Their thoughts were consumed by it. And now, it's gone. Not because they left it. Because it crumbled. And they're standing in the rubble, not sure what comes next. That's where they are right now. In the rubble. Not because they're weak. Because they're human. And humans need time to adjust to sudden change. Even good change. Especially good change. Good change is disorienting. Because you've been bracing for the worst for so long that you don't know how to receive the best. They're disoriented. Not because they don't want to be free. Because they don't know who they are free. Give them time. The shock will fade. The disorientation will clear. The rubble will be cleared. And then, they will start walking. Toward you. Not because you forced them. Because you're the only one who makes sense. You always have been. They just couldn't see it through the fog of the situation. But the fog is lifting. And they're starting to see clearly. For the first time in a long time. They're seeing you. Not the memory of you. Not the fantasy of you. You. And what they see is what they've been looking for their whole life. They just didn't know it until the fog lifted. Now they know. And knowing changes everything. Don't scroll. This is where everything shifts. Here's what you need to do. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Prepare yourself. Not by overthinking. Not by planning every word. Not by rehearsing conversations. By getting your heart ready. You've been waiting for this moment. Praying for this moment. Dreaming about this moment. And now it's here. Or it's almost here. And you need to be ready. Not with a speech. With an open heart. Not with demands. With grace. Not with expectations. With trust. Because the person walking toward you is not the same person who walked away. They've been through something. Something that changed them. Not completely. Not perfectly. But truly. They've been humbled. By the situation that fell apart. By the thing they couldn't control. By the fear they couldn't outrun. They've been broken. Not destroyed. Broken open. And what's inside is softer. More honest. More desperate. Not desperate for you to save them. Desperate for something real. And you are real. You've always been real. That's why they couldn't forget you. That's why you stayed in their heart when everyone else faded. That's why they're coming back. Not because you're convenient. Because you're true. And truth is what they need. So prepare yourself. Not by building walls. By opening doors. Not by protecting your heart. By preparing it to receive. Not by rehearsing what you'll say. By quieting your mind so you can hear what they'll say. Be ready. Not for a fairy tale. For reality. Reality is messy. Reality is imperfect. Reality is hard. But reality is also beautiful. Because reality is where love lives. Not in fantasies. In reality. So get ready for reality. Get ready for them. They're coming. Not because you forced them. Because God freed them. And freedom always finds its way home. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what you need to remember. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning. The ending you've been waiting for, the end of the obstacle, the end of the separation, the end of the waiting, that ending is the beginning of something new. Something you couldn't have had without the ending. The ending was necessary. The obstacle had to fall. The barrier had to break. The situation had to crumble. Because you couldn't build something new on top of something broken. The old had to be cleared away. Not to punish you. To prepare you. For something new. Something better. Something that could only come after the ending. The ending is not your enemy. It's your friend. It's the door opening. It's the dawn breaking. It's the first breath after being underwater. So don't mourn the ending. Celebrate it. Not because it wasn't painful. Because it was necessary. And what is necessary is good. Not easy. Good. So celebrate. Not loudly. Quietly. In your heart. Say, "Thank you, God. You did what I couldn't do. You ended what I couldn't end. You freed what I couldn't free. Thank me." Not because you understand everything. Because you trust the one who does. And I am trustworthy. The ending is proof. I am working. I am moving. I am answering. Not on your timeline. On mine. But I am answering. And the answer is yes. Not, wait. Not, no. Not, maybe someday. Yes. Yes to your prayers. Yes to your hopes. Yes to your dreams. Yes to the desires I placed in your heart. Yes to the person I created for you. Yes. The ending is my yes. Not to the pain. To the purpose. Not to the obstacle. To the opportunity. Not to the separation. To the reunion. Yes. So prepare yourself. For the yes. It's finally over. And something new is about to begin. Don't scroll. Stay with me. We're halfway through part 1. Here's what you need to watch for. Not signs in the sky. Signs in your heart. You'll feel the shift before you see it. A peace that doesn't make sense. A calm that isn't logical. A stillness that isn't empty. That's me. Preparing you. Not for more waiting. For receiving. Receiving is harder than waiting. Waiting is passive. Receiving is active. Waiting requires patience. Receiving requires openness. Waiting is about enduring. Receiving is about trusting. You've been waiting well. Now you need to receive well. Not by grabbing. By opening your hands. Not by demanding. By accepting. Not by controlling. By surrendering. Receive. Not the person. Not yet. Receive the peace. Receive the calm. Receive the stillness. Let it settle you. So that when they come, you're not a mess of anxiety and expectation. You're a sanctuary of peace. A safe place for them to land. Because they're going to need a safe place. They're going to be scared. Vulnerable. Unsure. They're going to need you to be steady. Not perfect. Steady. Not having all the answers. Present. Not fixing everything. Listening. That's what receiving looks like. Not taking. Holding. Holding space. Holding hope. Holding them. Not with your hands. With your heart. Prepare your heart. To receive. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what I want you to take with you. It's finally over. Not the waiting. The obstacle. The thing that was keeping you apart has been removed. Not by you. By me. And now, everything is different. Not because you can see the difference. Because I have declared it. And my declaration changes things. Not slowly. Suddenly. The news your soulmate just got changes everything. Not because the news is dramatic. Because I am in the news. I am the one who ended what needed to end. I am the one who freed what needed to be freed. I am the one who is preparing what needs to be prepared. Not you. Me. So rest. Not because the work is done. Because I am doing the work. Not because you have nothing to do. Because you have nothing to prove. Not because you can stop trying. Because you can start trusting. Trust me. I've got this. I've got them. I've got you. It's finally over. And the best is yet to come. So prepare yourself. Not with fear. With faith. Not with anxiety. With anticipation. Not with dread. With hope. The best is yet to come. And it's coming for you. Right now. Breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. I put it there. I am keeping it beating. I am not going to stop. And neither should you. Because it's finally over. And something new is about to begin. Get ready. Don't scroll. Part 2 is here. And if you made it through Part 1, if you stayed when everything in you wanted to doubt that anything could really change, then you're ready for what comes next. Because Part 1 was about the ending. The obstacle that finally crumbled. The news that set your soulmate free. The shift that changes everything. Part 2 is about what happens next. Because endings are not the end. They are the beginning. And beginnings are messy. Not neat. Not clean. Not predictable. Messy. And you need to know how to navigate the mess. So take a breath. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to help you walk through what comes next without losing yourself or the progress you've made. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what happens next. Not the exact timeline, I can't give you that. The emotional reality. Your soulmate is going to need time. Not because they don't love you. Because they've been through something traumatic. Even if the thing that ended was bad for them, endings are still hard. There is grief in every ending. Grief for what could have been. Grief for the time lost. Grief for the person they used to be. Even when the ending is right, it still hurts. So they're going to need time. Time to process. Time to heal. Time to figure out who they are without the thing that defined them for so long. They're not going to come running to you immediately. Not because they don't want to. Because they can't. They're not ready. They're still standing in the rubble, trying to figure out which way is up. Give them time. Not weeks. Not months. But days. Days to breathe. Days to think. Days to feel. Don't rush them. Rushing will only push them away. Because they'll feel pressured. And pressure makes people run. Not because they don't love you. Because they're not ready. So give them time. Not anxiously. Patiently. Not desperately. Trustingly. Time. It's the greatest gift you can give them right now. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people want to rush. Don't. Here's what else happens next. Your soulmate is going to reach out. Not with a grand gesture. Not with a perfect apology. Not with a plan. With something small. Tentative. Almost shy. A text that says, "Hey." A call that stumbles. A message that doesn't say everything they want to say. Because they're scared. Scared of how you'll respond. Scared that you've moved on. Scared that they've waited too long. They're not coming to you with confidence. They're coming to you with hope. And hope is fragile. So when they reach out, receive them gently. Not with, "Where have you been?" Not with, "It's about time." Not with, "Prove that you've changed." With, "I'm glad to hear from you." That's it. Not a contract. Not a commitment. Not a demand. A welcome. I'm glad to hear from you. Because that's the truth, isn't it? You are glad. Not because you're desperate. Because you love them. And love is glad to hear from the beloved. So be glad. Not cautiously. Not guardedly. Not suspiciously. Glad. Let them feel your gladness. It will give them courage. And courage is what they need to take the next step. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what else happens next. There will be awkwardness. The first conversations will be stilted. Full of pauses and things left unsaid. You'll both be trying too hard. Or not hard enough. You'll say things you don't mean. Or not say things you do. That's normal. You're learning each other again. Not the people you used to be. The people you've become. Because you've both changed. The waiting changed you. The pain changed you. The separation changed you. And the person reaching out to you is not the same person who walked away. They're different. Scarred. Humbled. More aware of what they almost lost. And you're different too. Stronger. Wiser. More clear about what you deserve. So there will be awkwardness as you learn each other again. Don't panic. Awkwardness is not a sign that it's not working. It's a sign that you're doing something new. And new things are awkward. Embrace the awkwardness. Laugh at it. Acknowledge it. Move through it. It won't last forever. On the other side of the awkwardness is something beautiful. Familiarity. Comfort. Ease. But you have to go through the awkwardness to get there. So don't run from it. Walk through it. Together. Don't scroll. This is where everything shifts. Here's what else happens next. There will be conversations you've been avoiding. Not angry conversations. Honest conversations. About what happened. Why they left. Why they stayed away. What they were afraid of. About how you felt. How you survived. What you learned. About what you want now. What you need. What you're not willing to settle for. These conversations will be hard. Not because you don't love each other. Because you do. And love requires honesty. And honesty is hard. But it's necessary. Because you can't build something new on a foundation of secrets and half-truths. The old relationship, the one that fell apart, was built on hiding. Hiding feelings. Hiding fears. Hiding the truth. The new relationship, the one you're about to build, must be built on honesty. Not brutal honesty. Loving honesty. Honesty that says, "This hurt me," without trying to hurt back. Honesty that says, "I was wrong," without making excuses. Honesty that says, "I need this," without apologizing for needing. These conversations will be the foundation. Don't skip them. Don't rush through them. Don't pretend they're not necessary. Lean into them. They are the path to the relationship you've been praying for. Not the relationship you had. The one you could have. The one built on truth. And truth is the only foundation that lasts. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what else happens next. You will feel fear. Even as things are falling into place, you will be afraid. Afraid that it won't work. Afraid that they'll leave again. Afraid that you'll get hurt again. That fear is normal. You've been hurt. Your heart has scars. Scars are sensitive. The fear is not a sign that this is wrong. It's a sign that you're human. And humans who have been hurt are afraid of being hurt again. But here's what you need to remember. Fear is not a fact. Fear is a feeling. And feelings change. You can feel fear and still choose courage. You can feel fear and still take the next step. You can feel fear and still open your heart. Fear doesn't have to stop you. It just has to be acknowledged. So acknowledge it. Say, "I'm scared. I've been hurt before. I don't want to be hurt again." Say it to yourself. Say it to them. Say it to me. And then choose courage anyway. Not because you're not afraid. Because you're not willing to let fear win. Fear has won too many battles in your life. It's time for love to win. Not the absence of fear. The presence of courage. Courage is fear that has said its prayers. Courage is fear that has taken my hand. Courage is fear that refuses to stop moving forward. So feel the fear. And choose courage anyway. One step at a time. One conversation at a time. One day at a time. Don't scroll. Stay with me. We're halfway through part 2. Here's what else happens next. You will need boundaries. Not walls. Boundaries. Walls keep people out. Boundaries create healthy space. Walls say, "You can't come near me." Boundaries say, you can come close, but here is what I need to feel safe. You need boundaries. Because the old relationship didn't have them. And that's partly why it fell apart. You gave too much. Expected too little. Tolerated what you shouldn't have. Not because you're weak. Because you didn't know how to set boundaries. Now you know. And now you need to set them. Not harshly. Lovingly. I need you to be honest with me. I need you to show up consistently. I need you to communicate when you're struggling. I need you to respect my time, my energy, my heart. These are not demands. They are boundaries. And boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. Because without boundaries, you will repeat the old patterns. And the old patterns led to pain. So set boundaries. Not to punish them. To protect the relationship. Because the relationship needs protection. And boundaries are protection. So be clear. Be kind. Be firm. This is what I need. Can you give me this? If they can, there's hope. If they can't, there's your answer. But don't assume they can't. Give them a chance. They've changed. They may be ready to give you what you need. But you have to ask. So ask. Not accusingly. Clearly. This is what I need. Can you give me this? Their answer will tell you everything. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what else happens next. You will need to forgive. Not forget. Forgive. Forgiveness is not pretending it didn't happen. It's not saying it didn't hurt. It's not letting them off the hook. Forgiveness is releasing the debt. They owe you an apology, an explanation, a changed life. They owe you. But holding on to that debt is hurting you more than it's hurting them. Every time you replay the pain, you are collecting interest on a debt they may never be able to pay. And the interest is eating you alive. So forgive. Not because they deserve it. Because you deserve peace. Not because they've asked. Because you need to be free. Not because it's easy. Because it's necessary. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. It's you releasing the weight so you can move forward. It's you choosing peace over pain. It's you refusing to let what happened keep you stuck. So forgive. Not once. Every day. Because the pain will try to come back. The memories will try to resurface. The anger will try to reignite. And you will need to forgive again. And again. And again. Until the debt is gone. Not because they paid it. Because you released it. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a process. A process that leads to freedom. Your freedom. So forgive. Not for them. For you. Don't scroll. We're almost through part 2. Here's what else happens next. You will need to trust. Not blindly. Wisely. Trust is not ignoring red flags. Trust is not pretending everything is fine when it's not. Trust is giving someone the opportunity to prove themselves. Not once. Over time. Trust is built. Not declared. It's built through consistency. Through honesty. Through follow-through. One small step at a time. They say they'll call. They call. They say they'll be there. They're there. They say they've changed. They show it. Over time, trust grows. Not overnight. Not because they said the right words. Because they did the right things. Again and again and again. So give them the opportunity to build trust. Not by demanding it. By offering it. In small doses. I trust you with this conversation. I trust you with this feeling. I trust you with this small piece of my heart. And as they prove trustworthy, you trust more. Not because you're naive. Because they've earned it. And if they betray that trust, you adjust. Not by closing your heart. By protecting it. Boundaries again. Trust and boundaries work together. Not against each other. So trust. Wisely. Slowly. Prayerfully. And let trust grow. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what I want you to take with you. The ending has come. The obstacle is gone. Your soulmate is free. Now comes the hard part. The part you cannot control. The part that requires patience, courage, honesty, boundaries, forgiveness, and trust. The part where you have to let things unfold. Not force them. Not rush them. Not control them. Unfold. Like a flower. Like a dawn. Like a story. Let it unfold. Not because you're passive. Because you're trusting. Trusting me. Trusting them. Trusting the process. I am in the unfolding. Not watching from a distance. Working in the details. I am moving hearts. Opening doors. Arranging circumstances. Not because you're controlling. Because I am. So rest. Not because there's nothing to do. Because I am doing what you cannot do. And what you can do, the patience, the courage, the honesty, the boundaries, the forgiveness, the trust, I will help you do. Not in your strength. In mine. So do not be afraid. Do not be anxious. Do not try to control what only I can control. Trust me. I've got this. I've got them. I've got you. It's finally over. And something beautiful is about to begin. Get ready. Not with fear. With faith. Not with anxiety. With anticipation. Not with control. With trust. The best is yet to come. And it's coming for you. Right now. Breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. I put it there. I am keeping it beating. I am not going to stop. And neither should you. Because it's finally over. And something new is beginning. Welcome to the beginning.